Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Neuroxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the Northeast, also known as the Red Team. Ending with Team 2, also known as the Blue Team in the Southwest. Starting off with Team 1, let's go Southern player here for Team 1. We have in orange, the color orange, it is Bantha going as an Aeon. He is an 1884 rated. He is the highest rated player on Team 1. Jewish Northwest, we have in Sherry Crimson, it is Finks. He is a UEF. He is a 1787 rated. And to the north, we have, next to a little bit of water to the northeast, we have Eco Player 7, either number 7 or the 7th or something to do with 7. He is an Aeon. He is a 1602 rating. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 Aeons flanking a UEF, which means no Cybran or Seraphim tech for Team 1. Starting up for Team 2's northern player, we have in Amethyst Purple, it is Drimmer playing as the one and only Seraphim of the game. He is a 2225 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall by a decent margin, a little bit over 300 points of rating. So again, high value target for Team 1 to take out and for Team 2 to protect. And again, he is a Seraphim in Amethyst Purple. To his southeast, we have in Royal Blue, it is Sains. He's playing as a UEF. He is a 1790 rated player. And for Team 2 Southern player, we have Gava playing as an Aeon. He is a 1237 rated in Stitch Blue. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have a UEF, an Aeon, and a Seraphim. No Cybran tech for Team 2 as well, which means for the entirety of this match, there are no Cybran players. Apologies to those spiky spaced socialists. Hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 6 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 8,000 mass in reclaim, which makes it 1.25k mass. Well, 1.5, some math. It's over 1,000 mass per player, something like that. And most of it is in this central ring of mechs, kind of a Stonehenge looking formation there. There is a little bit of clumpage on the outer edges of the map, but the hefty majority of it is in the middle. Taking a look at the mechs locations, there are some mexes near that inner ring of mechs, not mexes, but the reclaim. There's a quad mex in the 1 and 7 o'clock positions, but there's also quad mexes towards the outer edge as well, and kind of in this inner ring as well. Looking at Team 1 side of the map specifically, they have a quad mex right here and one out there on the southeast corner. They have a, I would call that a 6-star mex, because that one off is kind of just not next to anything else, as well as a couple of one-off mexes in the northern edge and some mexes near the main bases as usual. So there are expansions to go after, and there's some that is going to be secured for a while. But I also will note, because I saw it on Team 2 side of the map, there is another 5-star mex position right, actually here actually is where that position would be, not right where I was highlighting. So there is that as well. Most likely another position for a player to be, but wasn't, I guess, enough. It was a 3v3 generated versus a 4v4 sort of thing. Taking a look at where our players are headed off to in this game, I will note that there are no definitive lanes as there are in other games. There's no, top, middle, bot, or any sort of, left, right. It's just devoid of any sort of geographical impediment. A tiny bit of hills, some, rocks and whatnot, but it is essentially a flat map. So no impediments one way or the other, which could be a blessing or could be a curse depending on your opinions about lanes in this game or not. But our players are not really, again, definitive one way or the other. We do see it's essentially a 1v1 in the middle between Finks of Team 1 and Sains of Team 2. We do see that Drimmer is heading northward. He will most likely face off against Eco Player 7 in the north. And then I would assume in the southeast it's going to be Gava versus Bantha. But again, it could just be a mosh pit in the middle of the map and the outer edges are ignored. It could be maybe splitting off into more traditional lanes, but not really lanes. We'll just have to see how the game progresses, of course, because I don't know what happens. All I know is that it worked, and that's about it. T1 Selene on the northern side here for Drimmer hanging out, preventing some engineers from expanding into these mexes. Looks like that one's going to be killed off before maybe that Selene is killed off. We do see it is in nice little cloaking tech, so Team 1 can't see it for now unless they get an Omni-capable unit or structure online, or the power runs out for Drimmer. That also is a situation as well. Do see some units outbound from Team 2. Sanes going after a couple of spirits from Team 1, as well as a couple of early mexes on the front line. Nice little Aurora going after that unit, kills that off. Couple of strikers going to go after the tinfoil Aurora. In terms of range, Team 1 has the advantage, but in terms of hit points, Team 2 has it by a steep margin, but it's almost double the amount of hit points on board. Looks like they're going to try to go after the engineer, but it was body blocked actually by the Team 1 land facility, so the engineer's life is saved for the time being. Do you see some bombers outbound from Team 1's middle player of Finks going after, I would assume, the frontline position of Sanes, getting more facilities on land. Of course, reclaim, and more reclaim. Engineers, gets both of them there, so slows down the expansionary efforts for the reclaim there. Team 2 Sanes is going to go for his T2 upgrade. His gun was actually canceled. So you're going to thinking about doing gun, and goes, nah, T2 better. And we do see that Team 1 Sphinx is now in the middle of the map. The eye of the storm of the reclaim in the middle of the map. Nothing there to scoop up. But hey, we'll at least confirm the securing of his set of mexes. That mexes his engineers securing the reclaim, as well as some assistance for helping to secure the more, further away parts towards the middle of the north. That's 12 and 6 going. I'm just talking some nonsense now. I don't know what I'm talking about now. Drimmer in the west going for his Team 1 land facility in the front line, getting that Mex expansionary facility up online. We do see a couple of units inbound from Team 1 Sphinx getting behind the frontline forces, but they are going to get intercepted by a couple of Thams and Selene, so it doesn't really go anywhere. But hey, an attempt nonetheless was made. More units actually inbound between Drimmer and Sanes. So it's a little bit of some leakage going on, and that is partly due to the fact, again, there is no definitive lane one way or the other. So it's going to be a little bit harder to hold more of the either the outlying territory or the inner territory for now, until players get more radar, get more units, and more bombers and whatnot online. We kind of see a similar situation happening in the south. And for most of the accounts, Team 1 is being very, very aggressive, trying to keep Team 2 on the back heel, keep them on the back foot, making sure they don't advance into the middle. One thing that does, of course, benefit Team 1 with is they're getting a lion's share portion of the middle reclaim here, as well as protecting all of, well, at least most of their stuff in the more front, more vulnerable parts of the map, and making Team 2 be heavily on the defensive. But the downside with that is the more Team 2 is attacked, the more PD, the more shields, the more defenses that are online. So if Team 1 launches further and further attacks, more and more attacks, it's less and less effective, and could actually mean that maybe an experimental that comes and says hi will die or take a lot of damage because of all the defenses built from the earlier attack. So there is kind of a double-edged sword with that, but if Team 1 keeps the aggression and keeps Team 2 falling back, by all accounts, that would mean that Team 1 would win just because Team 2 would run out of territory. But I will note that Team 2's Gabba Gabba did go for the sensor package, so it gets a little bit more readout what's going on in the southern section of the map. We do see those units still going along that same vector from the more in-between parts of Sanes, and now Drimmer, who's going for a gun upgrade. And it does look like T2 Air is online for Drimmer now. He has a group, speaking of Drimmer, pushing it on the northern edge, just trying to do as much damage as possible to deal with those inbound aggression from Team 1 to slow a little bit of that roll. But again, so far, look at this just straight line down between these two players from Team 2. And the units are still being annoying. Most of them have now been dealt with, but there's a Lobo and a Extractor still in the mix there. Tactical missile, love to see it. Going on board Sanes is calm. He is UEF, which means he can go for the Lord of Missiles, the Billy Nuke. T2 started on board. Eco players come. He has gun on board. He is Aeon, so he's not going for the range upgrade. T2 also started for Finks in the northeast middle section, whatever. He hasn't really moved for a little bit. And again, gun is almost done for Drimmer. We haven't seen com-on-com action yet. It might occur in the south between Gaba Gaba and Bantha Fodder. He's actually moving in pretty close. Team 2's Gaba Gaba will see him. Actually, they already do see him. They are aware of their opponent's movements for now. He's going to move out of visual range for now. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back in shortly. We do see some units inbound now from not Gaba Gaba, but Bantha Fodder. Sains is there with his gun, and actually not gun, but his missile and T2 upgrade, which is being built as we speak. It's a little bit more veterancy. He's not at 1 star, not even close to it, but hey, a little bit is better than nothing. T2 started for Drimmer in the middle. And again, pretty much Team 2 going full defensive or versatile upgrades. We do see 1 gun. Now his 2nd gun started for Sains in the middle. Lots of T1 units stacking up here for Eco Player in the more northern half of the map. He's probably going to try to go along the edge of the map and wipe out that T1. Now upgrading the T2 mech facility. Getting some PD and TMD online, it looks like, just to secure that approach just in case. Wall sections being built to curtail some movement, essentially creating artificial lanes. We'll see how long that lasts. And T2 gunships online for Eco Player. He has T3 queued up, and Team 2's Drimmer does also have T3 as well. So both of the more northern west players for both teams are going for air. Looks like that's everything else for Team 2 in terms of air. Team 1, same thing. So same position. It's actually different position, but the ones conflicting with one another. And in terms of eco, Team 1 barely in the lead by about 10 or so percent. About 25 to 30 mass in favor. Nothing too critical, but it does make a difference when you're spamming out a bunch of Team 1 units, at least in terms of Eco Player's position. And now the unit's starting to sandwich now with Finks, and it's going to be just a mosh pit right here between that same position we've seen earlier be attacked. Drimmer and Sains. Sains has missile, gun, and T2 online. Finks has shield, T2, and now gun coming online. Maybe we'll see some com action. Maybe not. Shield started for Gaba Gaba. He'll get 8,000 additional hit points. Of course, the UAF shield is 19,000. It's a lot more hit points, but the total shield capacity that Team 1's Aeon Commander can have is, sorry, Team 2's and Team 1 as well, is 25,000. It just takes another upgrade. We do see Team 1 continuing to just throw caution to the wind right down the middle. Looks like the forces didn't combine like I thought they would, but they're going to go after some more, let's say, important facilities. There's some T2s here pumping out some pillars, and it's UEF versus UEF. Hate to see it, of course, but it does happen. There's a disagreement about color schemes and whether or not you're loyal to the old Earth Empire or not. Advanced range started on board Gaba Gaba's comm in the south. Be able to fight back a little bit further away. We do see no com action yet. And that upgrade is now essentially done. There it is. The attack from Team 1's Finks is stopped. And again, that's partially due to the fact that Team 2's been spamming up. I mean, not necessarily stationary defenses in this case, but in general, more units, more stationary defenses, more something to keep Team 1 at bay. And in the north, gunships are just dealing with some units trying to have some fun up there to the northwest. They're just trying to have fun. And in the south, east, west, south direction, nothing too crazy. This is what Team 2 can see with the sensor package upgrade, so it has a little bit more vision on what's going on down there. Doesn't know the comms right here yet, and getting another base online, at least something to spam out, maybe some Aurora or Furs or something. We do see that Sains is over here. The huge group of Team 1 forces nearby. Not really great, especially with the comm there. Sains is going to push him, being shot at by some Oblivion T2 PD emplacements. Missile is outbound. It's probably going to just go for that PD emplacement. Be like, no, I'm kind of done with that. But hot psych, the TMD snatches it and denies that missile landing. But Overcharge will kill off almost half the hit points. A couple more shots will deal with it, and there it goes. Opens the door a little bit, and now we're starting to see the quality versus quantity in terms of spamming up Team 1 units versus mainly T2, but there are still some T1s in there. Sains needs to be careful. He could be overwhelmed and surrounded. But again, they are tinfoil Aurora, so one shot will blap away the entire hit point capacity of the Aurora. And it will nice be a one-shot, one-kill scenario. Drimmer could go for tac missile on board his comm, but he's going for more PD. He's focusing, of course, on his air facility, pumping out some T2 gunships, because Seraphim are the only faction in the game that cannot get T3 gunships. Of course, they could always get other tech donated over to them, but hey, what's the fun in that? You might as well just steal it if you're somebody else, and if you know what cast I'm talking about, you know, because I didn't see it the entire game. I had to go back and look at it again, and that was actually the thumbnail. Not the thumbnail exactly, but it's essentially the essence of the thumbnail. It's with Willow, so he's the one that does the stealing, so that kind of clues you in on which cast I'm talking about. If you haven't gone and watched it, go ahead and watch it. That's a fun one. I mean, all my casts are fun, right? Right? In Southeast, we have combi-com action between Bantha Fodder of Team 1 and Gava Gava of Team 2. It's gun and range, gun speed and range, / range for Team 1's Bantha Fodder, and it's gun advanced range, sensor package, and shield, the primary shield, or the mini shield for Team 2. We do see possible combi-com action maybe will happen, but there's a lot of PD here now for Finks. He's getting more of them online. Overcharge, hooks, nice little left turn, and wipes out that Titan, and Saints will be forced back. Again, there was enough firepower. He maybe could have pushed on through, but doesn't want to push that far forward and be kind of upstream with no paddle, I think is how the phrase goes. Falls back, very sensible move there. Restore spam for Team 1 now essentially underway. He's not going for ASFs. He's going for restores, which do have AA weapons on board. Oh, that comm is in danger as I say that. Sains is inbound for some nasty little things from Team 1. Again, restores. Again, they are T3 gunships nonetheless. They do damage. They don't do as much damage as their Whaler and Broadsword counterparts. But Sains is dropping hit points pretty quickly. Missile, do not tell me you're going to try to hit the air units with a missile. That'd be insane. And it looks like he's not going to get out of there. There are some ASFs inbound and some interceptors to help. Just anything thrown to assist. There's a parashield inbound. That will save him for a little while longer. Maybe that'll be enough. Drops him below 3,000 hit points. We have Titans inbound, and I think they're going to go for a kill here. Another couple of parashields are inbound. An overcharge will wipe out one of those Titans if he can get some veterancy here. That might save him just a tiny bit longer. Parashield, oh, it's going to be close. More Titans are inbound. Missile is loading. He needs to kill off at least one more to save himself. He does. Kill off, gets back up into the yellow, and he still needs to keep moving. His comm is freaking out. Another overcharge. Wipes out another Titan, gets underneath another parashield, and has a couple more, actually. And that should be enough. Ooh, very, very danger mouse situation here for Team 2's middle player of Sains. Ooh, damn. Dangerous position. He went out on his lonesome and then almost paid the price for it. And it looks like he's constantly going out. Do not tell me he's trying to strike the comm of Team 1's Bantha Fodder. The shield is canceled. He would have been hit by it. He wouldn't have been killed by it, but he definitely would have been hit by it. So nice quick thinking there from Bantha Fodder, but nice attempt by Sains nonetheless. He's still on the front lines. He's in the red. He still needs to be careful. Again, red is 4,000 hit points for him, but still needs to be careful. We do see Finks is here as well. Gun, shield, and T2. I feel like Sains might need to go for nano here. He's back up into the yellow. Overcharge kills off another unit. He's trying to secure a little bit of that Titan reclaim field that's now been dropped on his essentially feet. They say, hey, come scoop me up. Team 1 units just, I don't know what they're doing over there. They're doing something over there. Team 2 barely behind Team 1 in eco. 10 mass or so. 10, 15 mass. Nothing too crazy. Another missile was outbound. And will it hit? No, but it'll grab a couple of engineers. That was close. That would have been bad. Another missile was outbound. Looks like it's not going to be the same position. He thought that's where the comm was. It was not. But that could have actually been. Oh, no. I feel like the shield would have been canceled and he would have moved in time. But another attack missile inbound. Not really successful with his attack. But does snipe. I think that was a. Was that a triad? Oh, but Sains Bro. Not Sains Bro, but Sains will be killed off by the Titans. They pushed in with some Percy assistance. was like, he was at 4,000 hit points, but the Percy's came in and shot him dead. And that is a kill here for Team 1. And now it looks like Fink said, now you can't, I can't up. Thanks, says Bantha Fodder. 3v2 in favor of Team 1. Advanced range now started for Bantha Fodder's Cobb. He was getting annoyed that the missiles were constantly raining in on him. This is very bad for Team 2. Partly because that APM is slowly going to eat away at Team 2, but also because it's a big map in terms of, 3v3, and there's no environment to hide behind in terms of, lanes or holding up in, essentially kill box positions. It's all just flat map. It's like flatbread pizza. There's no ridges to it. It's just flat, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Flatbread pizza is actually pretty good. Depends on the bread, of course, but, anyway. There's nowhere to hide behind, essentially. Titans and Percy's here should be enough to deal with most of these pillars and whatnot from Team 2. And in the north, I did see that drop happen. I didn't mention it, but there's a couple of Othams just roaming the northern map. Team 2 looks like they have air control, at least a little bit of it at least. Othams moving in eastward to go after that T2 mech. Eco slowly being chipped away for Team 1. And again, every 6, 12, 18, 24 mass that Team 2 can get ahead, they're going to need it. Because again, unless they can get a kill on somebody on Team 1, it's not a guaranteed win for Team 1, but the percentage chance that they're going to win goes up, of course, with every kill that they get, especially in 3v3. 4v4, obviously a little less, but 3v3 specifically. Of course, if this was a 1v1, somebody gets a kill, that's game over and the other person wins. So, there's also that. One of the Othams remain. Looks like maybe Team 2, T3 mechs is going to be the target. I would assume. Does it go full east? It is going southward now, but is going to go after a couple of these mechs. And Team 1's air player of Eco is not going to like that. His Eco is being hampered. He's the Eco player, and he's actually the lowest producing Eco player in the game actually right now. So what does that say about his namesake? No shade being thrown anyway. I'm just trying to make it just a joke. Anyway, Otham going after these T2 mechs up here. That's 9 masses a second per T2 mech single ringed, of course. It's going to be 18, 27, maybe 36 mass. There's a T2 mechs there. He might grab. Don't target the one. No. You keep targeting the one that. No. Oh, okay. Well, he's going to target that one next, I guess. He's probably going to get that one and then maybe one more by the time those Spectres are done with him. He is getting some veterans here, though. 5 stars, 5,700 mass killed with one Otham. Very, very good for its price point. We do see Titans now in, actually, no, Harbingers versus Harbingers. It's an Aeon v Aeon, UEF v UEF, and then Aeon v Seraphim. So a lot of faction v faction situations. There's no advantages one way or the other in terms of units, in terms of upgrades or anything. It's just the same faction fighting one another. It's like a civil war happening individually in this game. And then Otham is finally dealt with, killed off those mechs. That one got rebuilt very quickly, I will add. But Team 1 did lose a little bit of Eco. And Eco does sit at about 100 mass. He was going to drop below 3 digits, but kept with it. Just barely. Lots of Harbingers, Gaba Gaba is here. Gun is on board. Shield is on board. Gun is on board. Shield is on board. And speed. So that's the only difference. And Comic-Con action looks like it will occur in the southeastern section between the Aeon players of Bantha of Team 1 and Gaba Gaba of Team 2. Gaba Gaba pushing in. Not great. Loses his shield immediately. Oh, he's dead. Yep. There he goes. Team 2 loses another player. And now it's down to the highest rated player on Team 2. Ended the game overall. Drimmer of 2225 rating. Couldn't just have 3 less points of rating. So you have 2222 rating. Like I said, all 4 2s. Harbingers going after Bantha Fodder's Com. He should be able to get out of there, just partly due to the fact that Harbingers aren't moving to actually go after him. Maybe not. But for the most part, he should be fine. And now it's going to be APM just sucked away by the game for Drimmer. Again, 24 minutes. The game goes about 50. We have about half the game remaining, so he still has a lot of time to get back in this game. I feel like big plays, like 1 or 2 big plays are going to be what's needed For Team 2 Drimmer, a nuke. A nuke would be a good option. I don't think artillery would be good right about now. Colossus or two would be nice. Speaking of which, he's building one in that southern base. He's getting his air grid nice and plump. Of course, getting those power reserves to power all of his shielding, whether it's UEF, Aeon, or Seraphim. Bantha fodder going to receive some more shots to the face, most likely from these Harbingers. Maybe. I don't know. Like, they did move up and say hi, and then they go, nah, we're good, and they fall back. If they saw this force down here, went probably not a good idea to overextend just in case. Might be a good idea to maybe send some Perseus that way. I know there's some Perseus inbound from Team 1 down the central here. Central line, but, you know, it's just the middle of the map. And Percy v Percy fight. Looks like Team 1 has the numbers there, which will, of course, favor Team 1. And that will force Team 2 back. There are still some Percys back here for resupply and whatnot. Looks like Team 1 is going to push forward just a little bit. A couple of Titans, Titans Triads in there, as well as some Ravages that were trying to be built, but got denied. So that's going to be just, again, a UEF v UEF affair in the middle. Drimmer is still relatively on the front lines. He's underneath some shielding, underneath some PD protection, and AA as well. But essentially, if Team 1 just swarmed him, that might just be a win for Team 1 right there if they knew where he was. Which they do not. And if they did, they probably lost sight of him. Harbingers continue to pushing in on this Aeon forward operating base. There's really nothing left. The Harbingers are running over. And again, the APM, even though Team 2's Drimmer is producing almost more mass than the entirety of Team 1, it's the APM that's really hurting him. He has to manage this base, and then this base, and then this base, and he has to manage his air, and then power, and then eco, and then it just goes nonsense. All the nonsense all at once. Everything everywhere all at once. That's what he has to do right now. He can't just like split his brain into the 3 parts. There is a Colossus about. Come on, you can do it, buddy. Come on. There it is. First experimental is done, I believe, unless I missed one, which is entirely possible. It does happen a lot. GC immediately spotted by Bantha, so he knows about it. He's not going to be caught off guard. His comm is already falling back, looks like, to his main base. So no chance of being sniped by a experimental on the front lines for him. We do see that things is closer to the front line. He's a little bit behind some shielding and whatnot. He's going for a Fat Boy. That's almost half done. And in the north, again, it's an air player, so none of raw land should be spammed up. It's only Team 1. And that's mainly just to have something rather than having nothing. But at the end of the day, that's not going to stop a GC or a chicken or a fatty or any other experimental for that matter, or even just a group of T3 units. Some Titans or Harbingers or something can just mow over that very quickly. And then I think in the front line, in the middle specifically, it's just more of a delaying tactic. Just keep Team 1 at bay. The entire land force from Bantha just goes, nope, 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 not dealing with the GC today. Nope, we're going home. We're going to see our families. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Go home. Not even going to. Nope. I mean, looks like there's 1 or 2 of them going to slip on by maybe, but for the most part, they are falling back totally. That's a smart play because all those T3 units, all of the mobile missile launch, everything stays alive. They can stack up more and more and more. It's all about the stacks. If anybody has watched my Empire at War playthroughs, the AI has this strategy, which is just build a bunch of units, put it in one stack, and just go. And it works. Not all the time, but it is not fun. When you have like 20-something Providences and a bunch of other units stacked up, it's going to be a long space battle. It's not going to be fun. Especially when they're attacking. Not fun. Drimmer falling back to his air grid just in case that frontline base collapses, which is definitely a good idea, especially with him being the last remaining player on Team 2. Actually, maybe a good idea, hide in the pond, but then Team 1 will probably expect that, and then they send bombers and whatnot down that way, then he goes somewhere else, and there's essentially being a little bit of reverse psychology, reverse kind of situation. Nothing big, another GC. Oh, that's what I was looking for. There's a nuke. There it is. He's going to build a second nuke, maybe not. Kind of surprised he didn't build it in a Seraphim facility, but, you know, it's there. There are some Harbingers inbound. And unless he deals with those, that is not going to be a good thing. T2PD being started as well. More T2PD on the way. Gunships are inbound. Team 1's probably... That's Team 2. Team 1's probably not going to see the nuke. He wants to keep that hidden, obviously, for as long as possible. And there's a Harbinger inbound. That should be enough. There's a little bit of a hill blocking the incoming advance. Or at least the shots, I should say. No, they see... Something was built, but they don't see what it was. So, ooh, that was very close. Nuke is done and is loading. Team 1, do you have SMD coverage anywhere? Nope. And nope. No nuke coverage or anti-nuke coverage. Fat Boy is online, pushing back Team 2 in the middle. I'm just going to pump fatties, says Fink. I mean, and that could work. You could go to critical mass with fatties and just roll over stuff. Again, the downside is if that nuke is loaded sooner rather than later, yeah, I would assume this, I don't even know what base you would go after first. Maybe the air grid just to secure air control and be done with it. I mean, this base is going to be annoying. The comms are probably going to move regardless, so yeah, probably just go after the air grid call today. Need more P-gens online. Don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something with it. And Fatty continuing to push with a bunch of Percy escorts, parashields. You're not building units on your back. What are you doing? You're a big giant turtle. Build units on your back. And more and more and more air grid and whatnot. Nuke has a shield surrounding it, or at least over it. Good to see that. Some mobile AA running around. Maybe trying to stop this air scout push that just kind of stopped itself, I guess. So that's a benefit for Team 2, or for Drimmer, I should say. I keep saying Team 2 out of habit, but it's at this point it's Drimmer. That's it. In terms of Eco, Team 1 barely in the lead, 1.3 to 1.2, but still in the lead nonetheless. 1.4 looks like it's probably going to drop down to 1.3. No, I am wrong, so forget what I said. Map control definitely favors Team 1, especially with this attack. It's just recently from Phoenix. I almost want to say Phoenix. And that's probably actually how you would say it, but Finks, Calm, Phoenix, yeah, that's, you know, anyway. And in terms of course, players left alive, Team 2 has lost the only players in the game, being Gava Gava and Sains, leaving Drimmer the last sole survivor for Team 2 for now. Team 1 has everybody, so possible flawless victory is on the cards for Team 1. That fatty in the middle of the map causing a lot of havoc for Team 2. Let me know down in the comments if that fatty is going to be the hero fatty or not in this game. Thank you so much for watching till this point in the video. Hopefully you're enjoying. If you do, please hit the like button, subscribe, comment, do the YouTube things that YouTube loves to see. That make number go up, because it's fun to watch number go up. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And as always, let me know how I can improve in terms of casting quality, in terms of video, audio, all the things. Just let me know, like, hey, this sounded weird, or hey, your mic's doing weird, funky things here. Take a look at it. I'm like, okay, I can do that, just to make it a better experience for you. And those look like the Noctis kind of get stopped. There's not enough to kill off the fatty, but it will at least slow it down a little bit in terms of, well, there's a lot more than that, so that will be more than enough. There it is. Fat Boy's dead, so no hero fatty for Team 1. Gunships inbound, slowly whittling away all of the Percys. ASFs are right here. The fight probably needs to happen. All the Nathas died, not necessarily in vain, but at a minimum, I mean, some ASFs got singed. There's still a couple of gunships here that are not going to survive much longer because of the Cougar spam that's embedded within that land force. Harbingers looks like they were grouping up to meet with the fatty and then go, well, that fatty is dead. We're not going that way. They're going to go south now. And that's probably a better idea. Tons of Harbingers. Actually, no, those are Harbingers. Those are Percys. Othams also mixed in. We just see a conglomeration happening for Team 2 with everything. Forces from the front lines falling back. GC falling back. And that land army that I talked about earlier has now regrouped. Has some more. Actually, this is probably some of it, to be fair. The nuke is online. And it is about. Actually, it's going to fire immediately. And it is going to go for the air grid. No SMD online. There's going to be an SMD online here shortly. That nuke leads to launch immediately. At least get some value out of it. Harbinger's going straight for that Aeon base. a little bit of a bonking going on for those T3 mexes and whatnot. Drimmer finishes another experimental. I would assume it's a Ythotha or a Fatty, but I'm assuming it's a Ythotha. Yep, it is. I can see the Y. And then what? There's the nuke. Team 1's going to be like, uh-oh. That's not good. And it's going for the air grid. And that is not good for Team 1's stay in the game for air. And there's the remaining force dealt with. Nuke already almost halfway across the map. There's another Fatty on the front line with the second one to follow. Technically third one to follow, but hey, who's counting? And the comms, they all move because they know what's going to happen with that. Maybe they targeted themselves. But no, Drimmer goes for the for sure kill, which, again, definitely a good thing to go after the air grid. And especially, I think we had just an air fight moments ago. No, they have the airs down there. Here comes the nuke, definitely centered in the air grid. Kaboom! There it is. Gotta love it. One air facility, one P-Gen survives. Everything else is dead. Huge amount of power gone for Team 1. Nico, again, still heavily favoring Team 1 at this point. But that is going to hamper the air power at a huge minimum. And at this point, even if Team 2 loses the air fight, they will win air eventually because Team 1 just doesn't have air facilities to pump out air units. And since neither of the other players went for T3 air yet, you see Janus, but no T3 air, this is the remaining ASF force for Team 1. Yeah, I think there's one or two ASFs I saw flying around the other right here, but for the most part, this is all that they have remaining. And look at this, Team 1 about to claim the entire northern half of the map, cutting off Drimmer from his northern base up here. He has this nice little wall section, nice little artificial lane that he's created, but lane's not really going to do anything if a bunch of Percy's going to say hi and then wipe everything out. Nuke here says Sains. Definitely a smart play there. No SMD yet. There's an Omni here. That'd be a good target. Colossus being built here for Panther fodder. And I think that's what... There was an SMD there. I swear there was... Oh, there it is. It's just in the minutia of all the nonsense. Second nuke is already half loaded. He actually might outpace the SMD loading. And even if the SMD was loaded, I don't think it covers... No, it doesn't even cover that base. That could be a nice win if Team 1... for Team 2 to wipe out that base. Two Fatties. No. Oh, the power's coming back online. Looks like the lights have been paid for. The electrical company is happy about that. Fat Boy and just chicken, and more chicken. Third chicken is online. You might as well. The downside is those Percy's are going to wipe out a Ythotha very quickly. So do you sacrifice one to the Percy gods and have the Ion Storm activate and maybe send some of them? Or just wait and stack up even another one and full send 4 of them? Because that amount of Percy's will almost essentially one-tap that chicken. That nuke is almost loaded. 56,000 mass. And good, really good first nuke. The Ythothas have to engage. The P-Gens are dangerously close to being hit by those Fatties. And they're continuing to push, which is actually good for Drimmer because, yeah, he'll maybe lose parts of his air grid. But at a minimum, he probably will kill those Percy, not Percy, but the Fatties. Fat Boy actually from him almost going to kill off one of them and kills off the other one. Some Nathas wipe out the remaining hit points. The air grid takes a loss, but at a minimum, the air grid is fine. A little bit. Percy's back up to get out of the Ion Storm range. And they're going to probably wipe out at least one more of the Ythothas. Kind of surprised they're all not targeting one of them. And that will be the end of that group of Percys. There's still more back here, but at a minimum, most of the Percys that were initially guarding those two Fatties are now dead. And this Fatty can just slowly push in, re-secure the air grid, and secure the reclaim field at a minimum. Team 2 desperately needs the eco. Team 2 below 1,000 mass. Team 1, that has to be reclaimed. I think that's a huge jump. No, that's actual eco. Jeez, that is a little bit of his reclaim. But still, though, that is a huge amount of eco. That jumped incredibly quickly for Team 1, which is not good for Team 2, obviously, because they are now 2-1 down in mass. The air grid, of course, is being re-expanded upon T3 air facility back online. And another GC done, another GC underway. And it looks like SACU spam for RAS, for, of course, the eco things. Has a nuke. anti-nuke almost loaded, but the nuke is loaded. You got to fire that thing immediately because the longer it waits, the better chance Team 1 has of shooting that out of the sky. The nuke is going to launch. Of course, as I zoom away is when it does its thing. We have some Yothothas pushing back the land army from Finks. And there goes the nuke. Second one of the day is launched. And that's going to tear a hole. He knows. He's like, that's not going to, nope. So definitely a smart play there. Backs up. The last thing Team 1 needs or wants is for a player to die unnecessarily due to a nuke. Especially with them being 3-1, they want to keep that advantage online as long as possible. And again, Team 2 just trying to just batten down the hatches and just survive. That nuke is going to kill off a ton of production facilities. It's where, actually, there's not as many T3s as I thought there were here. But an Omni will be dead at minimum. Kaboom! And Mexes as well. It knocks out Fink's position. He does have his T3 land headquarters back here. Is safe and sound. He still has a decent amount of forces. A lot of AA. He has a lot of AA and parachute. Love to see it. But again, now he's lacking on Perseus. So it's either you have enough AA or more enough AA, or you just don't. And that, suffers one way or the other for other units. Tons of Harbingers, Colossi. We have the four Yothotha's and 2 Fatties. 4th Yothotha, 5th Yothotha. A number of Yothotha is coming online. Whatever number that is, somebody probably is keeping track at this point. Somebody will probably comment at this point about, hey, there's been this many built at this point, and this is how many he would have had he not lost the other ones that he lost earlier due to the invasion from, earlier. 2nd, 3rd Fatty. So 3 Fatties and 4. That's a lot of firepower. That's a concerning amount of firepower for Team 2. Again, we still have 2 GCs for Team 1's Gava. Actually, 3 GCs for Team 1's Gava Gava. It looks like, there's that. First force down here to the south. That force is moving in to intercept, but it's leaving a hole. And I think Team 1's just full sending that guy. And it looks like Fat Boys are moving in to intercept. The Yothothas are moving in to intercept. And that will at least give a little bit more time for Team 1 to get some more defenses online in the middle. And nothing really has been vectored out from the north. Ever since that attack with a couple of Optims, it's kind of just been ignored. And this force, if it gets anywhere near the nuke, not good. Nuke is at 107,000 mass, so that was 50,000 mass kill with the second nuke. Really, really good nukes for Team 2's Drimmer so far. Fat Boy pushing way too far forward. Gotta back that up. Gotta back it up. Back. Nope. That Fat Boy is DED, DOA, DAD, something dead. It is just dead. And looks like the GC force from the south pulls back to intercept. Now the GC force from the south is moving in. And that Fat Boy is dead. Not great. Unnecessary loss there. This GC should probably split up with some forces. Yep, he does exactly that as I say it. It's almost like I've casted some games or something. That GC is almost at satellite started. That's not going to finish anytime soon. 1 Ravager is not going to be enough to stop it. And this will provide some reclaim for Team 2, but unfortunately that satellite will not finish. So UEF tried to do UEF things and got denied. And there it goes. And that force will be stopped nonetheless. Artillery has been started for Drimmer. His artillery. His nuke is almost loaded once again. That's number 3 nuke. He needs all the mass he can get. He's a 2-to-1 deficit at this point. And I think Team 1 is ramping up more T3, T4 production and just full sending it. I don't see any big ticket items in the background. Artillery has been started, so that's a big ticket item. Well, it's big, not big. And that... Salvation. That's nice to see. I always have the opinion of Paragon is better, but each their own at least. And the GC gets almost to the western edge of the map. Oh, it's just running away from the other GC from Team 2. It looks like Team 1's, but that is Team 2's. And Team 1's. Oh, the air grid is going to be the target. Hero GC for Team 1 could wipe out an entire air grid all by his lonesome. He's already at 4-star vet, going to probably climb to 5. PGen activates and blows up. Not really a whole lot. Ooh, there's a little bit of a cascade there. He's up to 5-star vet now, 25,000 hit points and falling. And the T3 air headquarters needs to be protected at all costs. Another PGen blows up. Oh, that probably the PGen's going to blow up. There's another tiny bit of cascade. And there's that. Lots of power gun. How's Drimmer doing on power? Ooh, not good. No, not good. Not good for him. He is not doing good on that. His artillery piece is already in essentially the green territory pretty much. He just needs to cross essentially 9,000 and he's in green. 1, 2, 3, 4 GCs in the south. We have Yuthothas down here as well for him. We have 3 Yuthothas here. And the air scouts fanning out. Team 1 probably has SMDs online everywhere, and the kitchen sink, and then some. It's just GC. Look at this GC spam coming down line here for Bantha fodder. And Drimmer has done quite well defending all on his lonesome for a little bit of time now. This group of Yuthothas are heavily damaged, but the Ion Storm, if Team 1 continues to push, that actually will pay for itself. And the attack on the nuke is inbound. Nuke is loaded. It might be defense nuke time. It might be kill off, or at least try to kill off another base time. Ion Storm activates. The GCs actually, did they fall back? No? The Harbinger's pushed in. That's not going to help. Second Ion Storm will activate. And that actually misses because that GC stops moving. And lots of Harbingers. Fat Boy's in the middle. Not really doing a whole lot. The Fat Boy production facilities kind of were wiped out, so there's not as much. Hey, look, there's a GC up there. Hey, it's doing things. Anyway, back down here. Just completely ignore the one GC against the tiny little base. Grab the transport. Nuke is going to... Ooh, that's unfortunate. The Nuke does not... Oh, that's unfortunate. He probably would have had to nuke his own GC to really do enough. Oh, that's unfortunate. Look at that. Just... Will it kill anything? No. No booms for that. Not even... Yeah, no kabooms or not even booms. Just silence. Although silence mild, I was thinking darkness, but my brain went to silence. And GC is still online. Tons of T2PD trying to be spam. Just throw everything. Interesting not GC, but Yuthotha inbound from the north. It's going to help wipe out at least one of the GCs. GC gets a nice little chunk of veterancy at the last moment to survive just a tiny smidgen longer. The nuke will be wiped out here, I would assume. Another, ooh, it's one more GC remaining. Crash damage will help out a little bit. The shields stand online just a tiny bit longer. No, just 240 hit points remain. It was being reclaimed just in case. Ooh, that was, that was something like one of those villages from Minecraft. It was, oh, yeah, just villagers. I was going to say illagers, but that's not the right thing. T3 artillery is online. What it... Do not target land... No, bad. Don't target land units. Bad. What are you going after? Are you going after SMD? No, you're... What are you going after? Oh, you are going after that. Okay, I was going to say, it looked like it was going after land units. I'm like, what is going on with that? Fat Boy continuing to push again on that same vector once again, just straight across the middle there. GC now approaching this little group of Othams and whatnot. Going to get some nice veterancy from this. And he's at 4, almost going to get, he's probably going to get to 5. The Yuthothas have to push in. The air grid, don't think it's going to survive much longer. Again, it's been a 3v1 for a little bit of time now, so Drimmer's doing a very good job of holding back Team 1. Another attack straight down the middle, southern middle. Fat Boy being chased down by a GC. Will it survive? Ooh, it's going to be close. It survives the laser from the GC at least. And 4 Yuthothas go, no. Go back, Perseus. Go home. 1 Yuthothas down. 3 remain. Some Janus inbound. I was going to say Nothas, but that is not the right T2 fighter bomber unit. And there it goes. Team 2 is barely holding the line. 47 minutes on the clock. Artillery not even close to being done. Some of them are named half Elrond, half Elven, Faramir. Oh, that's pretty funny. And Salvation is almost in the green. It'll be lovely to see that. And air fight happens over the top of Team 2's air base, essentially. But I think Team 1 has the numbers, I believe. There's actually a little bit of flak in there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not going to be good for Team 2's air. And that's with a wipe on the air grid from earlier, too. That's quite impressive. Another Ythotha dead. Another one dead. They were trying to chase down that fatty. Will the shot? No, it won't get there in time before it fades into obscurity. Nuke is loaded once again. Artillery is still firing. I don't know what it's shooting at this point, but it's shooting at something. What are you shooting? Oh, you're shooting at this position. Bantha Fodder assisting the shield, it looks like. Yep. That is what he is doing. Looks like the target is the SMD that he's sitting next to. Banks finishes another experimental. I would assume it's another fatty. And GC targeting the T3 air raid quarters. It will grab it. It will die. But it did grab it 118,000 mass and climbing with it. 123. Did very, very well for itself there. And another GC attack is inbound. Team 2 have no experimentals to defend this push. But okay, one fatty. That's not the same thing. And I think it might be it. If he wants to fire it or launch a nuke, he needs to launch it like right about here. Because by the, and it has to be right now because it'll take a second to go up and over and down. Actually, it'll take longer than that, just a little bit longer. But he needs to fire it sooner rather than later. The worst thing is to have a nuke and not fire it, or at least have a nuke loaded and not fire it. Especially when you have 4 or 5 of them and you don't fire it. That's just sad. Very sad. And it's just the eco advantage. I mean, he's on 350 mass income. He's still holding it together, which is, again, very, very impressive. GC online. There goes the nuke. And that might be it for Team 2. We did get one GC online in time. Artillery still online. Fat Boys continuing to push against the remainder of the air grid to the north. And it looks like that Salvation does come online. And with that, that's that's it. SMD looks like it's going to be the target. Paris is saying no, just built the Salvation outright. TML says Bantha Fodder. Where? And there's Germer standing next to some pigeons. Not a good place to stand there, my friend. Ooh, that's hurt. No, that's Spear. Spearheads. 50 minutes on the clock. Will he give them the satisfaction of the kill, or will he control K and call it a day? GC's inbound. And there is the departure. He does not give the satisfaction for the kill. And not even GG. Team 1 wins the game. 50 minutes, almost 51 minutes on the clock. MVP for me. I don't really. I mean, Team 1, they all did good with what they were dealt with, or with what they were given and what they had to deal with. I mean, if the Salvation wasn't there, then, you know, the GCs did it. If the GCs didn't do it, then probably the Salvation would have done it. So there's really no, you know, one player had the biggest impact. Again, constant rating going down from Team 1. It was just aggression from the beginning, and Team 1 just did not let up. They got a kill, and then they got another kill, and then it was just push. And Drimmer, again, even though he lost, his team lost, he did a very good job with what he had and what he had to fight with. Again, the APM, I think, is the killer in this game, straight up. And he had more APM, had he had more time, more effort, a whole bunch of other stuff, maybe it would have been different. I mean, he got a nuke. He got it to fire multiple times and land multiple times. He did a very good job with that, but it just wasn't enough. Let me know down in the comments who you would pick for MVP for Team 1 or Team 2. Maybe you have an MVP for Team 2. Who knows? But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one.